Hey, we got a little more breaking news with the Browns, guys.
What do we got now?
Nyheim Hines, the returner / running back.
I wanted Jamal Agnew.
Same guy, basically.
I wanted Agnew.
$3.5 million deal with the Browns, according to Adam Schefter. Nyheim Hines, the guy who was most notable for in the game after Damar Hamlin's incident, returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. But Nyheim Hines of the Buffalo Bills is heading to the Cleveland Browns on a 1-year, $3.5 million deal.
He was a good, they're not, by the way, that's it for running back. They're not bringing anybody else in.
No.
Not in terms of veteran. They may draft somebody. Nyheim Hines, if I remember correctly, was a pretty good pass catcher his first few years with Indianapolis. And in fact, I'm right. If you look, he was a rookie in 2018, had 63 catches, 425 yards. In 2019, 44 catches, 320 yards. 2020, 63 for 482. And then his last 2021, he had 40 for 310. And then last year, between Indy and Buffalo, he only played 9 games total, had 30 for 241. That's what he does.
He has almost as many receptions as carries in his career.
Yeah.
Listen, when you look at let's look at this for what it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're transitioning more to a passing offense, and you want guys in there. I think that he's going to be the returner, though, to try to get Jerome Ford out. But I got a question.
Yeah.
Let's say Nick Chubb, I hope it doesn't happen. Let's say Nick Chubb either gets released or Nick Chubb never gets back to Nick Chubb. Are you comfortable with Jerome Ford as a feature back?
I'm not.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Even though he's probably one of the best pass catchers we got, out of the backfield.
I mean, I could have Nyheim Hines catch passes. He's better than Jerome Ford at catching passes. He's not that old. How old is Nyheim Hines?
27.
Yeah, 27 according to Pro Football
in a
Focus.
perfect world, Nick Chubb's healthy. I have Nick Chubb for 15 carries a game. I bring in Nyheim Hines as my pass catching back.
So
I spot Ford.
So you completely out on Jerome Ford.
Every few series,
for his career, by the way, just a little context to Hines. 1,202 rushing yards, 1,800 receiving yards. He has 10 rushing touchdowns, 8 receiving touchdowns. He has 2 special teams touchdowns. A versatile weapon.
Yeah, he's a returner.
They need a money. How much Grant is gone? I don't know if Protege is back. They need a returner.
What are they paying?
Jason, what was your question?
What are they paying?
3.5, I think.
3.5 for 1 year, which goes to the point I think we were talking about yesterday. The Browns were only offering 1-year deals to running backs. They were not going to offer a 2-year deal.
Which is smart.
To anyone.
I get it.
Yeah. I wanted Agnew. I wanted a dynamic returner.
Right.
I wanted a guy that when he's back there, it's like – because we haven't had it. Special teams haven't had a good returner in I don't know how long.
But they've eliminated the return from the game.
Punt return?
Well, not punt. Kickoff return.
What is Agnew's
return punts, Mike?
I'm sure he does.
According to Pro Football Reference, or
is he just a kick returner?
He had he returns punts too.
If you can do one, you ought to be able to do the other.
Right.
30 punt returns in 2020, 23 punt returns in 2021, 27 punt returns in 2022.
How many of them went back to the house?
He has 2 punt return touchdowns in his career and 2 kick return touchdowns.
The guy's a pretty solid returner, if I remember correctly, and he's a very good third down back. So.
I understand that, but it's different. It's different. Listen, I'd have been a special teams meeting. It's different coming into those special teams meetings when you say that's the returner, or you got this guy's dangerous. We got to make sure we get Agnew is like that. Like he's going to return it, and I just feel like that's when you get to these rosters and you get to the close to the end of the season, you got to find a way to have an advantage over something. And punt returns set you up, or you get a returner that can take like that.
It sounds like he's a decent returner.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm sure he will be. I'm just saying, at what
you think
point,
Agnew was special at it?
I do.
Okay.
He was all pro at it.
Yeah, right.
He was an all pro.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just to compare the 2 returning stats, and just looking at this for the first time, obviously I'm not super familiar with either of them, and Mary Kay just confirmed the report if anyone disagreed. But Agnew's returning stats, he has 4 punt return touchdowns, 2 kick return touchdowns in an extra season of play. So 6 kick return, punt return touchdowns versus 4 for
And has he ever been a part of the passing game in any significant way?
Jamal Agnew, for his career,
he had like some screens.
Has 77 receptions and 5 touchdowns, and he has 33 rushes.
Yeah.
So a lesser offensive player, maybe a slightly
in terms
better
of an offensive player, Hines is better. Listen, we're talking lower end of the roster here, but
when Agnew was a rookie, I didn't think he would be good.
Yeah.
Because he played for the Lions, and I played for the Colts, and we did a joint practice.
You thought he was slappy.
And I went against him. He was a gunner. I was a hold-up.
Okay. What is a hold-up for those who don't know?
I was a jammer. I was an inside jammer.
Okay.
So, when you do a vice, the gunner got the two dudes.
Yeah.
I was the inside piece.
Okay.
And I was sitting there. This is my second year in the league. I was
fired up.
Yeah, I was fired up.
Yeah.
I was like, please come inside. Please, God, let this man come inside. He came inside.
You knocked on his ass.
And it was crazy.
One more thing on Hines, by the way, which I did not realize.
Yeah.
He actually did not play last season. He was out all of 23 with a season-ending knee injury. He
so
suffered
it was
in a jet ski
22 that
accident.
he split between.
22 he split between two teams. He did not play in 2023.
Interesting.
Was out all season with a knee injury that he suffered in a jet ski accident.
Okay.
Tyvis abused that man. I'm watching it.
Let me see that.
The fact that he had the clip at his
This is
fingertips and could pull that up like that tells you how many times this man has watched that
I
clip.
think the only reason you wanted to bring Agnew to come up is so you could brag about this.
Actually, I didn't know who he was until like what?
Two more things real quick.
Damn.
Hines,
Might just
according
cut
to
you right off.
PFF,
Go ahead,
since he entered the league in 2018,
Yeah.
Nyheim Hines, who just signed with the Cleveland Browns, has a 90.5 receiving grade, the fifth highest of any running back since he's entered the league.
Yeah, I part of the reason I know him is because of fantasy football. And like on bye weeks, he'd be a guy you could pick up and hope he'd get 8 catches that week for
that's
64
true.
yards and a touchdown. So he is a guy that, listen, I don't know where he is. He only played 9 games 2 years ago. He didn't play last year. I didn't realize that when I was looking at the stats. I didn't remember that. So he's only played 9 games the last 2 years, so who knows how reliable he's going to be. Let me ask you guys this. Does the fact...
No, he played all 16 games in 2020. He played 9 with Buffalo, 7 with Indy.
Oh, I'm sorry. You mean 2022?
In 22, his last season he played. He
Okay.
did play all 16
all right, so he
games.
played and then he missed a whole year last year. Let me ask you guys this. Does this move, the fact that they've signed Nyheim Hines, we knew that, and we assume that in free agency they're only adding one back. Mm-hmm. Does this lock up that they're definitely going to find a way to bring Nick Chubb, to keep Nick Chubb?
Yes.
I think they probably feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
Right.
I tell you what, I started seeing some of them deals. Somebody went for $7 million, 1 year, 7. Oh, it was Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
I said,
to Minnesota.
Hurry! I said,
I mean,
Nick, sign, hurry up.
They're running.
I'm like,
I mean, they would be
sign.
doing him dirty now if they cut him now.
No, I ain't about doing him dirty, but
Yeah.
they give him some. He give him some of their money,
Right, but he's coming off an injury. But listen, the bottom line is that $3.5 million guaranteed for Nyheim Hines? Do we know?
It just says a 1 year, $3.5 million. I'm not sure.
I'll tell you, Jason. We all thought they would have to cut down the cap number on Chubb, and they're going to have to cut down the cap number. But if Nyheim Hines is getting a guaranteed $3.5 million, I can't ask Nick Chubb to take $6 million.
What are you giving him?
More than I thought, because everybody's getting more money.
Running backs are getting paid more than I thought that they would.
Yeah.
And so
We haven't seen this in years.
No, so I mean, by waiting, Nick probably earned himself a little bit more money.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're going to get nuts.
No. But
no more than 8 guaranteed, I don't think, for Nick.
Bull, I don't know if this helps, but if you take the tweet here, Steve, the exact wording from Schefter is up to $3.5 million.
Yeah.
So
See,
it's
this
probably,
all right, so it's not $3.5 million
so
guaranteed.
probably 2.5 or 2, and then some incentives.
All of these are coming from
the agents, so they're going to put the highest number.
Yeah,
they can.
and the agents want to make it look
So
as
it's
good as
probably
possible.
like $1 million or $2 million,
I don't
whatever.
know.
But same thing with Maurice Hurst, by the way, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, you're going to have to figure it out. But I at first was thinking, they only have to guarantee him $6 million. But we've seen like Tony Pollard get $8 million guaranteed. I know Nick's coming off an injury, but he's a way better player than Tony Pollard.
We'll see.
You know, Saquon Barkley got a ton of money. Josh Jacobs got 3 years for DeAndre Swift, who's had like 1 good year.
Hey, these guys, their careers are so short. I hope he gets every penny
Oh,
he
yeah.
can. But I'd be surprised if he got more than 8.
But I agree in terms of guarantees.
Yeah.
But I feel like the fact that all these running backs went off the board so quick, and that the only, I think, legitimate starter left out there is Derrick Henry, and the fact that the Browns' one running back they signed is Nyheim Hines, I think we all assumed Nick Chubb would be back, and now I feel even more confident about it. Based on
your
what's happening
options
here.
is Henry, Madison, Zeke, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Dalvin Cook, A.J. Dillon, and J.K. Dobbins.
None of those guys are starters except for Henry.
What if it's Henry?
I doubt.
How about that grenade?
I'd be shocked.
I don't think it is either.
I hope he ends up on the Cowboys and not the Ravens.
That would be if that's what happened.
Yeah.
Oh,
what a grenade!
Oh my gosh.
The whole show would be.